So, welcome everyone. This is the Miracle Mind Meetup, where we meet every Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time online to go deeper into the practical application of the psycho-spiritual book called A Course in Miracles. If you've been feeling the nudge to go deeper into these teachings, we are here to hold a space for each other, to ask the questions, to come into a non-judgmental space and really express what's on the heart so that we can allow spirit to reveal truths, whether through our brothers or through the teaching itself. And so we do that, we walk together. And if you have any questions or would like to have more information, or would even like to do one-on-one service, you can reach me at any of my socials, and that's Spirit-Led Steph. And you can also reach me at the website spiritledsteph.com, as well as awakenpedia.com, where it is the host of this group, as well as many other groups and different practices. So if you're curious about that, definitely go check that out. Thank you so much for being here. And we welcome you now or wherever you are in the world when you watch this. And doors are always open. So beautiful. Thank you so much. So there was this section in the course that, just became very present. Uh, and some of you may be already aware of it. And it's called the Rules for Decision. And I think it's a quite important section and a beautiful section to come back to again and again, because the course is always inviting us to choose again, right? No matter where we are in the paths we're taking and the choices we're making, we're deciding all the time. It says decisions are happening all the time. Um, but whether we are being intentional with our decisions, whether we're being conscious of what we're choosing is the question. But we can always use any moments, because the present is always this blank slate, this opportunity to choose, right? To become intentional and to choose the Holy Spirit as the guide, right? The Course calls it the Holy Spirit. Spirit, that force that is the light of truth that comes in the mind and has been in our mind, and it just shines down to guide our path, right? To show us the truth about who we are, revealing it again and again in different situations. And so the rules of decision, I thought we could read them together and go deeper into them. And of course, see what comes up. Yeah, what comes to surface, what comes to heart with this. Because I know, we know how truly helpful it can be. And I just thought of this. I want to share to anybody who is new to the course or is just literally started or has studied, has recently started. Many people ask, do I need to have the book to do the Course in Miracles? And the truth is that there is no specific rule as to how the teachings are to unfold for you, right? So it could be with the book. Some people can find the book. Literally, the book will come to them. Other people, I had a friend who was in a Course in Miracles group for over 10 years without having the book because she thought it was a course first and she was just taking in the information until she realized it was a book. So it's really, there's no rule to how it approaches us. And it's the invitation is always to be very guided, to allow peace to guide you, what feels right, and to allow it to be a gentle unfolding and not to make it another thing to like make a rule about or have to have a set ritual about. We want to free ourselves from those concepts. The course is freeing us, right? from the concept of anything that can bring in guilt, which is what holds us to the ego's story, perception, understanding, and identity, which is not who we are. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that in as well, right? We don't need to have the book to
Mhm.
start with the course. It's the message. You can come and join this group. Some people, for example, I started just with the book by myself for a couple years, but that was my unfolding. Other people's unfolding could be just with the group, even without the book first, right? So there's no real specific way. And that just goes to show how beautiful it is that each curriculum, everybody has an individualized curriculum as to how it unfolds for their awakening. Yeah. Mike, did you want to say something? I'm sure you've had a lot of people come into your group and, have these questions and just show up without nothing and be worried that they're doing it right or getting it wrong, you know?
Uh, the goal of the course is to put us in touch with our inner guide, and our inner guide will guide us what we need to do. You know, I've had somebody that came years ago to our Sunday class, and she said, "Well, I've been doing the course for 10 years. This is the first time that I've gone to a group." Hey, that was her path. You just reading the book by herself. She had never gone to a discussion group, and that was right for her.
Right. Yeah. And now that you mentioned that, the course does say that it's a self-study program, right? It's a
Hmm.
self-study course. And so many of us may take that as this is for me to do by myself. And if that's what feels like true to you in that moment, then that's beautiful. But the course is also teaching us to include, at least at a very internal level, our brothers and sisters.
Hmm.
And I think that there comes a point, each one in its own timing and its own moment, right? But there comes a
Hmm.
point where we do feel the call to join with others because it is in the joining with others that we can put all these theories to practice.
Yeah, there's a line in the course that says that heaven is entered two by two.
Hmm.
It's using Noah's Ark thing, but it what it means is you and your father, you and your mother, you and your neighbor, you and the cashier at the supermarket, you and the bus driver, you and the other person in the elevator. It's two by two.
Right. It's within those interactions that we enter heaven, right? That we choose again and again, that
Yeah,
we have those instances.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Beautiful. So, how about we read this section together? I pulled it up. Um, I kind of like the way the dynamic of how we went last week, each one reading a paragraph and then just seeing what comes to heart and we share together and we discuss together. I think that that was very, very helpful. So, okay, let me go here. Here we are. Everyone seeing that? Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Rules for decision. As you can see, this is in chapter 30. This is one of the last chapters of the entire text. So, this part is a nice big summation of the practical things that need to be had and done if we want to apply what we've learned in the text, right? The workbook itself has a lot, of course, has the day-to-day lessons, which you can't go deeper and more practical than those. And yet here he's giving us a set of rules for decision, I guess you could call, a guide as to choosing what we really want and to really discovering our true power, our true strength. right? Which is in that connection with God. It's literally what we're choosing again and again is God. We've mischosen, right? We've misperceived something. And now the rules for decision is like, okay, how can I make this an everyday, normal way of living? So who would like to read first? Anyone feeling too? Soma, go ahead. Beautiful.
I'll read. You know, I love to read. Rules for
Yes.
decision. Decisions are continuous. You do not always know when you are making them. But with a little practice with the ones you recognize, a set begins to form which sees you through the rest. It is not wise to let yourself become preoccupied with every step you take. The proper set, adopted consciously each time you wake, will put you well ahead. And if you find resistance strong and dedication weak, you are not ready. Do not fight yourself, but think about the kind of day you want and tell yourself there is a way in which this very day can happen just like that. Then try again to have the day you want.
Mm.
This is powerful for me as a person who's been diagnosed with ADHD, which, as you know, coming from me, it stands for accepting divine healing daily.
Love that. Translation, a spirit translation right there.
So the whole thing about practice, 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 and I'm a licensed practitioner. I'm a licensed practitioner with the Centers for Spiritual Living, but practice, practice, practice. We tend to think, or I used to tend to think that the day, okay, we say a new day starts at midnight or when I wake up, but I can have, something can, I may have planned whatever, or I may have intended for whatever, and something else happened. I think, oh, the day is ruined. The whole day is ruined. But decisions are continuous. I can choose again. I don't have to. The day is not over. This is the only moment that I have really anyway. So, and it's telling me to exactly that. Think about what I want, and if it doesn't happen again, if it doesn't happen that way, try again and try again and try again, because practice makes progress. And with that, I'm complete.
Yeah, and something I love so much. I mean, tell me, I don't know, is it just me, but like how many teachings, especially deep spiritual teachings, do you find that say, and if you find resistance strong and dedication weak, you are not ready, do not fight yourself. In other words, don't just keep pushing. Don't keep trying to make the thing happen, like in the sense of like effort and force of trying to be that perfect, having that perfect spiritual day or feeling that identity that you got it right. No, it's like if you have resistance, and this is so important for our journey, don't fight yourself. Allow it to be. This is a gentle unfolding. This is a, you know, give yourself the grace to know that when you're ready, it goes back to that tolerance line in the course, right? Um,
Tolerance for pain may be high, but it's not without limit.
there we go. And the
Eventually,
moment we come to that point, we're ready.
Yeah, you don't fight the ego because the ego loves that. I
Mm,
read somewhere something about you don't wrestle with the pig because you both get dirty and the pig likes it.
yeah.
You
and
don't
Yeah.
fight with the ego. You don't grab the book and hit yourself over the head with it. You just say, okay. What you say to the ego is, hey, there you are. That's all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
there's a sentence in the course that says mistakes are for correction and nothing more.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, up to that point, I've been punishing myself. Up to that point, that's all I was doing was punishing myself. Like, wait. It's only a mistake. You mean I can reset, atone? I can reset, and the atonement is that's it. That's my only responsibility is to accept the atonement for myself, to accept the willingness to undo for myself, not for you, because I have no control over that. There's two kinds of business. You know what I say? Two kinds of business: my business and none of my business. Two kinds of business: my business and none of. Nothing gets me through the day. I have to laugh myself through the day. I have to keep from, just throwing my hands up. But that very thing, all I have to do is just be willing to see it differently and see it differently and see it differently. And it literally becomes different. Like, wow, how'd that happen? It's a miracle. I'm complete.
Yes. And I think before we continue this last part, but think about the kind of day you want and tell yourself there is a way in which this very day can happen just like that. I think it's important to understand that the course is always leading us to the content and not the form, right? It's always, so we can think of the day that we want, but we're like, if I'm thinking, oh, I want to meet my partner today, the person of my life, and I want my day to show up like in this meeting to go amazing. So now I'm putting forms, right? Which creates outcomes in my mind. And now I'm like, shoot, the day didn't go and I planned and I did the rules for decision so that could all happen. But I think it's very important to remember that we're focusing on the content. And the content of the mind is, what is the kind of day that I want? I want a peaceful day. I want a day where I want to feel this abundance, this true strength. I want to feel the peace of God, right? In my meeting, no matter what happens in the meeting. If I find my partner, whatever, if that's something that's on the heart, right? Whatever that is, it's just like, I want to be in line. This is my true prayer. And I'm not getting stuck on the forms because I think that, we hear a phrase like this, but think about, I know I did in the beginning, about the kind of day you want. And you're like, okay, I want a day where I exercise and I feel this and I have all these things, but they're all forms. But what I'm really setting is my intention. And from that energetic standpoint, I can move into all these different things I feel called to, like exercising and then going to my meeting and then whatever it is, Does that make sense? So I feel like always taking it back to that. Go ahead, Mike. Yes.
The ego always tells us that we're slaves of form. The ego says, I want this person to apologize, and then I will have a peaceful day. What the Holy Spirit is telling us, I want to have a peaceful day, whether this person apologizes or not.
That's it. That's it. It is a look, I wrote a bunch of these because I was reading earlier, and it's just like so much of the ego's interpretation is, misplaced allegiance. So we have an allegiance, a true allegiance to something, but the ego misplaces that allegiance into things that are temporary, right? Into the form. Misdirected desires for love. So we have a desire for love because that is who we are. And yet we direct it towards things that are not where true love lies, right? Pure love lies. Distorted miracle impulses. That's something that we find, and Jesus talks about in the Course, right? That a lot of the things are an impulse for the miracle, but they're distorted. So we grab onto other things that are around us. So it's just interesting because what Mike is saying is exactly that. Like, it is a misperception of what we truly want. What we truly want is peace. And then we put it somewhere and boom, there we go. Misplaced. We and it's all coming back. So, okay, let's keep moving forward so we keep the flow of this. But I love this beginning and we can go deeper. Who feels to read number 2?
I'll go ahead.
Okay.
The outlook starts with this. Today, I will make no decisions by myself. This means that you are choosing not to be the judge of what to do, but it must also mean you will not judge the situations where you will be called upon to make response. For if you judge them, you have set the rules for how you should react to them. And then another answer cannot but produce confusion and uncertainty and fear.
Yes. Today I will make no decisions by myself. Like, feel the weight be lifted in that phrase. I certainly do, right? I'm not here to figure this all out. I am here to hand it over, to walk this path with the spirit.
Yeah, and somewhere else the course says it's not that you should not make decisions by yourself, it's that you cannot make decisions by yourself. You always make decisions motivated by something, either by love or by fear. There's always a motivation there. You don't make decisions by yourself. You make it with something, either love or fear.
Right. Right. And there, that's why we're being shown this, what type of decision do we want to make, right?
Mm,
Yeah. Beautiful. And here also releasing judgment, right?
hmm
It also means you will not judge the situations where you will be called upon to make a response or to act in or to be in, right? For if you judge them, you have set the rules for how you should react to them. As soon as you judge, you think you know what's going on. So a big invitation here is I will make no decisions by myself is also saying, I don't know. I don't know what's needed here, right? It's
hmm
like stepping back and saying, I don't know. I don't have an opinion about this here, but I am here. Use me. I am here. I think that that is also really helpful. All right, number 3.
I'll read it.
Great.
Okay. This is your major problem now. You still make up your mind and then decide to ask what you should do. And what, yeah, yeah. You're like, oh, what should I do? And you've already made your decision. I'm like, and what you hear may not resolve the problem as you saw it first. This leads to fear because it contradicts what you perceive, and so you feel attacked and therefore angry. There are rules by which this will not happen, but it does occur at first while you are learning how to hear. Oh, yeah. That's so true. Like, I don't know, and everything that like we've been reading, it's like there's not a specific way to do things. And even though we may say, or I'll use me as an example because, taking ownership, like God, let your will be done, whatever you say, whatever you do. And I'm still trying to do things my way to figure out how to do it, how to surrender, how to release. And it's like, I'm getting lost in the form, right? I'm literally getting lost and stuck in the form because I want to know how to do it. I want to know. I want to be the knower and the doer. And it's this sticky mental trap. But it's good to recognize and realize and be like, this is the whole trap unfolding in front of your eyes. This is how it works. So, decide either choose that or choose the unknowing and the unfolding, which is very scary, but those are the only two choices that there are. Yeah.
And I love how he mentions here, there are rules by which this will not happen, but it does occur at first while you are learning how to hear. Just the fact that he puts while you are learning how to hear, really allows us to understand that there is a process to it, right? That there is grace that we're giving ourselves, that there is this unfolding and undoing, and it has its own speed and its own form for each of us. That it's not just, our mind, which is also an egoic understanding, right, or interpretation, generally wants things to be immediate, that it feels like we should know this by now or have it down pat in this.
Understand. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not, it's a process, and it may be a short process for some, and it may be a longer process for others, because it's just of how they will best learn. It doesn't matter. The end result is the same. So, all right, beautiful. Number 4. I'll go ahead and read number 4. I see Jonas is off camera, so I'll go ahead and read number 4. Throughout the day, at any time you think of it and have a quiet moment for reflection, tell yourself again the kind of day you want, the feelings you would have, the things you want to happen to you, and the things you would experience, and say, if I make no decisions by myself, this is the day that will be given me. These 2 procedures, practiced well, will serve to let you be directed without fear. For opposition will not first arise and then become a problem in itself. I'm going to read those last lines because my mind went away. These 2 procedures, practiced well, will serve to let you be directed without fear. For opposition will not first arise and then become a problem in itself. Got it. I see. Okay. Opposition won't, the more, as you practice these and practice these well, opposition won't be the first thing to arise and become a problem, right? You'll start to be able to do it more and more without fear, without that resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at the top we have, today I will make no decisions by myself. And here we have, if I make no decisions by myself, this is the day that will be given me. All right. And number 5, if anyone feels to read. So we might see your hand. Yeah.
But there will still be times when you have judged already. Now the answer will provoke attack unless you quickly straighten out your mind to want an answer that will work. Be certain this has happened if you feel yourself unwilling to sit by and ask to have the answer given you. This means you have decided by yourself and cannot see the question. Now you need a quick restorative before you ask again. The Course teaches that the ego speaks first and loudest first. And that's the whole thing. It's like, basically, we're asked to be still and let everything go. And that's what I'll speak for myself. And that's what I had not been doing. I had to have the answer. I had to fix it. I had to know, and would pretend I knew. Clearly I didn't. Clearly frustrate myself, punish myself, and all that. But not anymore. Fed up there. Wait. Hold it. Fed up there. Wait. My famous 5 words, stop. That's the truth. I really do that. Stop. I have to, because all that monkey mind, the chatter, it starts going, and the ego thought system, it's just doing something. Wait. This isn't real. This isn't real. It's a shadow. Stop. And give myself
go wild.
And breathe. This is for me. And so that's basically what it's saying here. Just I've attacked myself. I gotta stop because I'm letting the ego thought system get in. I'm putting myself in a position to go into fear because I think that the way I had been doing it is the way I'm supposed to do it. But clearly, the Course asks, can it make sense to keep on doing what you've been doing and expect that it's going to succeed when its past has failed? It has always failed. And to just chill, just Just wait. Just wait and listen, because the answer will come. It has
Mm-hmm.
come. Yeah, I'm complete.
It has come. It has come. Thank you, Zulma. And do you know what's so beautiful is that, like, this is, you know, we see the rules for decision as something that can, of course, like, is the setup for our day. Sure, absolutely. But given that the present moment is always here now, and it doesn't have to be like, oh, I missed the application in the morning for the rules for decision, right? Like the invitation is just for any moment of a decision, right? There will, like, I love how it says here, but there will still be times when you have judged already. Now the answer will provoke attack unless you quickly straighten out your mind to want an answer that will work. Be certain that this has happened if you feel yourself unwilling to sit by and ask to have the answer given you. You know, sometimes certain things, the answers come, and this is like a prayer, right? I want to do this with you. I want you to choose for me. I want you to show the way. And when we're, I don't know, choosing to participate in an event, when we are deciding if we're going to go out a night with some people or whatever it may be, sometimes the decision isn't clear. And the invitation is to always invite the spirit, right? Even in these rules for decision, to make that choice together, right? To take that step back and it not be like people pleasing, right? Oh yeah, sure, I'll go to the thing, or and we just start, right? We're thinking. I guess all I'm trying to say is that rules for decision doesn't have to be the way we set up our day, but also just a way to apply for decision making, right? Or because we're making decisions all the time. And so the invitation is also, are we willing to take a moment to decide, to take a moment to wait and sit by for the Holy Spirit to step up, right? For Jesus to be clear, for that decision to be at peace. And I think that that's also a big, this leads us into guidance, because when we do rules for decision, what we're saying is, I'm choosing to be guided. I'm choosing to live a day or a moment. I'm not doing this by myself anymore. So yeah, that just came to heart. So welcome, Quana. I see you. Oh, everybody, this is a
Mm-hmm.
sweet, sweet friend of mine. We've been on the journey together for a while, and it's just, oh, so beautiful. She was in this group right when I started it, with zero peoples, but everybody at the same time. At the same time, it was still, just waiting for a beautiful community to unfold as it is. So, welcome, dear sister. Maybe you can read number 6 for us. Would you mind doing that?
Oh, I'd love to.
Wonderful.
Let's see. Okay, remember once again the day you want and recognize that something has occurred that is not part of it. Then realize that you have asked a question by yourself and must have said an answer in your terms. Then say, I have no question. I forgot what to decide. This cancels out the terms that you have set and lets the answer show you what the question must have really been.
Hmm.
Is that all we're reading right now?
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing like little sections. Each person does like a paragraph, and then whatever comes up, we just, say what's at heart and talk about it. And
That that line, the whole rules for decision, and that particular line, I have used that in numerous times in the last. I use it all the time. Whenever I feel like I've fallen off. And it feels like recognizing that the course and what Jesus is doing is getting us always within our minds, because our minds are so powerful. We don't even realize how quickly we go right into something, and it's typically a reaction. It's
Mm.
always a reaction from the world of form. And so with this sentence, I noticed that if I become angry enough to say this, or upset enough, that I have to, I can't say it right away. I have to give myself a little bit before I'm ready to say it, because
Mm.
in no way does Jesus want you to just automatically go into some autopilot spirituality, right?
Hmm.
We're supposed to acknowledge, at least I need to acknowledge, this predicament I'm in the human experience. And then when I feel ready, I can say that. And I notice that that's when I start to, the stronghold of the ego starts to loosen a little bit. And then I can feel a sense of ease. And I have sensed that with my experience with the course over a couple of decades, that this is such a fast track. If you look through the course, this line and a few of the other prayers that are given are, dare I say, shortcuts, because Jesus knows the way. There's so many different beautiful, beautiful modalities, and so many different wonderful ways, and I embrace all of them. However, for me, before I could embrace all these other modalities with some sanity, and I've discovered this recently, since I've been on this kind of internal journey, deep internal journey in the last few months, which is why this is the first time I'm back with Stefania in a few months. I just got the prompt this morning to join in. I realized that there's something about the course, the foundation, the principles in the mind training, if you're called to it, give you that rock, that stone foundation. And then you become in habit of listening to guidance and following, praying, listening, following. And I felt recently I kind of got permission to start exploring some of the other modalities that are out there, because of, sort of an expansiveness, but with that understanding that it's being guided and directed by the Holy Spirit. It's not coming from me, you know. So these ideas expressed in the course and these prayers are what I experienced, though, as the fast, really easier way. It just doesn't seem like it, because we're facing a big blue book. It seems like with 365 days of lessons and some intense wording and terminology. But once you go through it enough, you realize that it is indeed a fast track. And you're really not having to put as much mind efforting into a spiritual practice, or the kind of relief that we're looking for. But you do have to be consistent with it. It's
Mm.
like, I've noticed that what I like, this particular line, I have no question, I forgot what to decide. it is that escape hatch, not escaping the world in a a destructive way. I mean, escaping the I think you understand what I'm saying. It's like the escape hatch. It's I can just
Yeah,
say for
escaping the
sure that the
illusion.
prayers that are given in the Course in Miracles are there to give you the vast way out of any consequences that might occur
Mm.
from our minds that we're seeing played out.
Yeah.
That might be really metaphysically sorry, but that's just been my experience with these
Yeah,
prayers.
yeah. Wanted to add something, where it says, the course says what the question must have really been. Another way of saying the same thing is the difference between what I want and what I really want.
Yes.
That's saying the same thing, different words, same thing.
Yeah, I love that you say that, Mike, because also, and going back to Kwana, and we're all tuning into your energy, Kwana, right now. I know you've been going deep, and we can feel it. We can feel it in in just, in the way you share. But this part at the beginning was hard for me to understand. Like I have no question. I forgot what to decide. I would be a little confused in the beginning as to what it actually meant. But this is really referring to like erasing. It's just like the undoing. It's like the words that would erase. Like he says, this cancels out the terms that you have set because remember once this is number 6 is an application to once we've seen that we've decided that we've gone that we haven't waited
Mhm.
for the Holy Spirit, that we haven't chosen to do it with Spirit or with Jesus, and we find ourselves in our predicament or obviously not in peace or right. And so this is then he gives us number 6. Remember once again the day you want. Remember that. What is it you truly desire? Like Mike is saying, right? What is it that I want? No, what is it that I really want? And recognize that something has occurred that is not part of that day that I want, right? And then realize that you have asked a question by yourself, right? There has been some question, something that is, and so saying, I have no question and I forgot what to decide is like, I release everything I thought I knew the question to, all that part that I stepped into by myself without the guidance, without that joining. It kind of it asks us to take a step back. And I think that is, yeah, just very humbling. It takes us into humility, right? Beautiful. All right. Who would like to read number 7? I know we have a couple of on here who haven't read yet. If you would like to come on, that would be great.
I will read number 7.
Beautiful.
Okay. Try to observe this rule without delay, despite your opposition. If you have already gotten angry, and your fear of being answered in a different way from what your version of the question asks will gain momentum until you believe the day you want is one in which you get your answer to your question. I kind of forgot to receive the meaning of what I was reading, so I'm just going to read the last line there again.
Sure.
And your fear of being answered in a different way from what your version of the question asks will gain momentum until you believe the day you want is one in which you get your answer to your question. Sometimes I'm a little bit too shamanic to the course. I don't understand it.
It's okay. And you keep reading. Sometimes, yeah, we get stuck on certain phrases and then as we read,
Good.
yeah.
It happens all the time. Yeah, yeah. Don't worry.
I one guy in one of the classes years ago would always say the answer is always in the next paragraph.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And you will not get it, for it would destroy the day by robbing you of what you really want. This can be very hard to realize when once you have decided by yourself the rules that promise you a happy day. This decision still can be undone by simple methods that you can accept. Will I keep going a little bit or?
I feel it would be good if you continue, if that's
Yes,
okay
yes,
with you. Yeah.
sure, sure. Okay. If you are so unwilling to receive, you cannot even let your question go. You can begin to change your mind with this. At least I can decide I do not like what I feel right now. This much is obvious and paves the way for the next easy step. Having decided that you do not like the way you feel, what could be easier than to continue with, and so I hope I've been wrong. This works against the sense of opposition and reminds you that help is not being thrust upon you, but is something that you want and that you need because you do not like the way you feel. This tiny opening will be enough to let you go ahead with just a few more steps. You need to let yourself be helped. Okay,
Beautiful. We
yeah.
can
There
stop there. We
must
can
be
stop there.
another
Yeah.
way. There must be another way.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's that's the way the course started. It's the realization that I do not like the way I feel. This cannot be it. There must be another way.
That's it. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
bringing it to this very thing. Go ahead, Andrea. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Yeah. The only part where I got stuck, where Jonas also stopped and like he didn't know like to continue or not, is the um your day, like the fear will grow, or let me read it again. The fear will grow if the answer you receive is not the one you want by the question that you asked, right? Or something like that. And then it said
Yes.
like you will only, oh, thank you, yes. And your fear of being answered in a different way from what your version of the question asks will gain momentum. Okay. Until you believe the day you want is one in which you get your answer to your question. So there are they saying that like the invitation is to release the question that you think you want the answer to, or to accept whatever answer you will receive by the question. Yeah, I'm just not sure how to interpret that part.
Does anybody want to share anything that comes to heart for this part? Soma?
The first thing that came to mind is the self-fulfilling prophecy. Because if I think that it should be this way, and the answer that I seem to be getting doesn't go along with my should, then it's like, well, wait a minute. What's wrong with me? I feel like something is wrong with me, and now I'm afraid. I go into that shrinking place, rather than say, wait, stop. I'm feeling fear. So that's already letting me know that I'm not giving the Holy Spirit the entry.
Yeah.
I've got this veil up. I've got this block up. So at that point, at least for me, is again to stop, and that'll keep on unless and until I'm willing to stop, because the course teaches that it says what we do comes from what we think, but what we feel comes from what we think. The course may say that somewhere differently, somewhere later, but anyway, what we feel is coming from what we're thinking. So if I'm feeling fear, that means I'm thinking a fearful thought. If I'm thinking a fearful thought, I'm blocking the Holy Spirit's opportunity. I'm blocking that part of my mind to make that to have the answer that I was actually asking in the first place to come in. Because if I decided I wanted a peaceful day and I'm not experiencing peace, then I'm choosing, every response we make is determined, well, what we want to be must determine every response we make. So what it means that what I'm doing isn't aligning with what I said I wanted, which is where I put in the chat where it talks, of course, about do only this. It's kind of like I had an agenda set and then I didn't meet it. And at the end of the day, I'm freaking out because I did something other than. This was a decision that I said I made, but then I made another decision, and then I made another decision because clearly what I actually did wasn't that. And I put myself in a fear spot because now I haven't completed what I wanted to do. And I'll keep on being afraid until I stop, just say stop, and go back to what my original decision was. Wait, here's what I wanted, and let me go back to that, and then again, be still. That was a very long answer for a but I'm complete. I'm complete.
No, I loved it. I loved it. Thank you. It was what I needed. Yeah. I'm like afraid to ask this question because like I'm very obsessive, I think. I'm very, very, oh my God. Like, okay, anyway. And I'm always like, what I'm asking myself in this moment is like, how do I give in that moment that I realize that I don't like the feeling? And how do I release it and be like, and I think I get stuck in the words where I'm like, Holy Spirit, I give you this feeling. I don't like it. You take over my mind. You take over this situation. And I know that it's not in the words, but I get stuck in the words where I'm like, there has to be like a specific prayer. There has to be a specific phrase that I can use or shortcut, like Juana said. And like, I know I'm getting stuck in the form of like, there has to be a perfect form. And I know it's not about that, but my ego is like, no, like there has to be, or else you won't feel that freedom, that release. And yeah. Yeah.
Well, if I can answer, Andrea, maybe I understand what you're saying. I mean, like Stefania was saying, upon first reading this or when trying to use this prayer, when I would get angry or upset, it was like, I don't understand this. What do you mean? I think my experience has been that when I say shortcut, I don't mean avoidance of a feeling. I think what it helped me to do is to slow down and look at what I was feeling and face what I was feeling. What is it that I'm feeling and what is it that I'm believing? So I think that's I think for me at least, it's been a part of that process. And when I do go into upset and I take those steps of those prayers that we just heard, by the end of it, I'm willing to at least go, okay,
You
what am
have
I
to look
feeling
in
here?
order to overlook.
Yes.
You
You
have to
can't,
look in order to overlook.
right. You have to, it's not a shortcut out of the emotion. It's a shortcut in terms of calm, meaning that the mind becomes willing to turn to the Holy Spirit. But part of that is looking at why you feel the way you do and what you're believing.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I say we read one or two more because I think they will kind of sum up. And it's actually I unshared just so I could see everyone's beautiful face, and now we can head back to this. So, uh, all right, we said at least I can decide I do not like the way I feel now. That's where we were. And something I do want to say is in this whole, explanation of certain parts and Andrea, I never want you to feel that you have too much to ask or you get, but it is important to be able to release what we have in mind, even if it's for the use of observing how much we want to question and understand the motives of the ego or the specifics of a theory, or because we can see how the mind wants to understand every single line, and so much of what we're taught here is to receive. There will be moments that we do not understand what we're reading, and there will be other moments where it will dawn, the understanding will be given, and that in itself is also a part of the trusting of the path, right? So we're reading all of this and you're like, okay, I'm getting like 80%, but can someone talk about this 20 or this 5 that I'm not getting? And the invitation is, you don't need to know the 5. You don't need to know the 20. Receive the 80 that makes sense right now, and receive it fully, and put that to practice, because I think that that's also something that our mind always wants to, like, I need to get this fully. If not, I can't apply it. If not, I'm going to get it wrong, right? And so much of the course is like, it starts to fall on us like a soft blanket over time, like, oh, and then we start to feel warm and we start to get it. um so I invite that also, but don't ever hold yourself back from asking the question because you self-judge. Allow the question to come up, and then we notice what use it can be of. Maybe not to actually get the answer, but just to get it out. All right, beautiful. And so reading number 5. Does anybody feel to read number 5? Sorry, not 5, it's 9 with the number 5 in it.
I'll read.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, having decided that you do not like the way you feel, what could be easier than to continue with, and so I hope I have been wrong. This works against the sense of opposition and reminds you that help is not being thrust upon you, but it's something that...
Okay.
Perdón?
Yeah, we read it, but go ahead. Now I just
ya lo
realized we
leímos.
read it. Yeah,
Oh.
but it's okay. You can go through it. And we'll
like,
go to
yeah,
10.
I kind of like the read. It's kind of like getting refreshed again in my mind. Yeah. Okay. This works against the sense of opposition and reminds you that help is not being thrust upon you, but it's something that you want and that you need because you do not like the way you feel. This tiny opening will be enough to let you go ahead with just a few more steps you need to let yourself be helped. Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you're inviting it. You're not forcing anything, right? It's an invitation.
And it's that little willingness that the course is always pointing us back to, like this little willingness. He says this tiny opening will be enough to let you go ahead with just a few more steps that you need to be helped.
Yeah. Should I continue?
All right. And yeah, please.
And now you have reached the turning point because it has occurred to you that you will gain if what you have decided is not so. Okay, I'm not going to get stuck. All right. Until this point is reached, you will believe your happiness depends on being right. Okay. But this much reason have you now attained. You would be better off if you were wrong. Okay. Yeah. Last 11, last part.
Yeah, and this goes back to I think if Mike could read this, because this is exactly what Mike was leading us to. 11.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead. This tiny grain of wisdom will suffice to take you further. You're not coerced, but merely hope to get a thing that you want. And you can say in perfect honesty, I want another way to look at this. Now you have changed your mind about the day and have remembered what you really want. Its purpose has no longer been obscured by the insane belief you want it for the goal of being right when you are wrong. Thus is the readiness for asking brought to your awareness, for you cannot be in conflict when you ask for what you want, and see that it is this for which you ask.
Beautiful. I want another way of looking at this. That's the beginning of the course, and he's bringing it back to just
Mm-hmm.
the decisions.
Want
Is this the
another
end?
way.
Yeah, I want another way. Yeah, I think we can stop there. This is really the summation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I love it because what he's leading us back to is the mind, right? Not the
Mm-hmm.
choices of behavior, not what we did, not what was done to us in the day that made us angry that we didn't get the result we want. No, no, no. He's going, now you have changed your mind about the day and have remembered what you really want. Its purpose has no longer been obscured by the insane belief you want it for the goal of being right when you are wrong. Thus is the readiness for asking brought to your awareness. Now you are truly ready. Because if we remember at the beginning, he does mention, and if you find resistance strong and dedication weak, you are not ready. Do not fight yourself, right? This is a continuous prayer invitation. Yeah, Kwana, you want to say something?
Oh, I was thinking how that is so suiting, because I know for me, I have to wait until I feel ready to say that if I'm in the midst of being upset. I have to wait
Mm.
before I can start saying the phrases, today, in terms of, I have no question, I forgot what to decide. I have to wait till I feel calm enough to
Right.
say.
Right. You have to wait to the point you're giving yourself sort of that moment to then get to this point where are we? Where he is saying, now you have changed your mind about the day. Now you have, your emotions have settled and you are in a new place of wanting to look at it another way. And so you have that opening. Yeah. Jonas, did you have a question? Oh,
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
okay. I wasn't sure if I saw your hands. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because this feeling of not feeling good um, is so strong in me today, and that I cannot even listen to the words, and I'm sitting like, okay, should I share this? And I want to share it because I want to call in the miracle again in my mind and come back to peace. And there is a lot of thoughts and a lot of tension. A lot of self-hatred. Why I'm doing the same mistakes again and again. Oosh, oosh. And the belief that I cannot share. And yet the feeling that this is what we are here for also. Put this on the altar.
And you know what that is, Jonas? It's an
No.
opportunity. It's an opportunity for healing. You know what that is? It's perfect. When we
Mm.
become aware, now we can do something about it. Now we can decide, I hope I was wrong. So it's perfect. Awareness makes it perfect. One of the lessons is all things are lessons God would have me learn. And the negative things that we find in our life actually help us faster than, the good things that happen also help us, but the negatives that happen are really more helpful to help us grow.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Thank you.
So just okay, yeah. I'm embarrassed, but I'm gonna ask because that's just the way my mind works. So when we realize that we don't like the way we're feeling, we recognize it, we're aware. In that moment, is the invitation just like, Holy Spirit, I realize that I'm not thinking straight, that I'm not liking this resistance, this fear, this need to know, this need to understand. I give it over to you and release. And in that moment, it's just like, do
That's
your
it.
will, whatever you, right? Nothing else.
That's it. That's it. It's very important. It's very important to recognize, I don't know.
I don't know.
Help me. You help me. And that you actually, the Course talks about as if the Holy Spirit was out there somewhere. That's because in this world, we think we're something different from the Holy Spirit. So the Course talks in that language. There is no Holy Spirit out there. The Holy Spirit is in here. It's inside.
Right. We are always speaking to the part of the mind that is already within us. So the light of truth that shines in through the crevices of the blockages that we've,
Have
built, have self-imposed, and yet not truly, right? Not truly. It's still, that's why it's a veil. It's still, you can still, break through it or dissolve it ultimately. But yeah, as Mike was saying, like, I think that we have this way of thinking that, like, as soon as we hand things over,
it's going to be immediate. This immediate
boom,
release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
miracle.
Immediate release and revelation, and we're
enlightenment moments. Yeah.
What do you call it?
That
Like
depends. Yeah, that depends on our tolerance. Yeah, that depends on our tolerance for pain. Sometimes we have to hit our head on the wall several times before we realize that it hurts.
Yeah, that's a hard truth, but yeah, that's so true.
And when you hand that over, sorry, Andrea, when you hand that over, there is this, like, now you go about your day. You go about with an openness. You literally leave it. Like, we order things online all the time. We put an order in, right? We know the package is coming. Do we think about it? Like, as soon as you make an order, let's say from Amazon or eBay or whatever it is you order from, are you checking all the time? Like, hold on, where's my order at? No, most
Sometimes.
of us will.
If you're obsessive, yeah, maybe something,
Let's just say most of the time we do. We know the feeling of putting the order in, of handing it over to someone else to be in charge of that order and allow it to come when it's meant to arrive, and just move about with that openness, with that not knowingness, with that cluelessness. Okay.
Yeah, it's the unknowingness is scary. When you don't know, when you don't understand, you're just like, what the heck? Like, that's scary. That's scary for me. It's like it's the feeling of unsafety, but the trust in that moment has to be like, Andre, you don't have to know for things to work out the way they're meant to work out. Even if you don't understand, like, release the need to understand, right?
Right. And if you look at your past, yes, and how many times in our lives did we think we needed to control and know something and we didn't? And how did everything turn out? You're here right now. Everything, things turn out. And for the world to continue to function in its, in its insanity, it will continue to work. So either you show up in okayness with that not knowing, it frees us, and it's more and more and more. But yes, Soma, go ahead.
It just came to mind, that workbook lesson that says that we don't perceive our own best interest, but I believe it's in the next lesson. It says something that everything is really for our best interest. We may not think so, but everything is for our best interest. And if and that whole not know thing is saying, I want to know the future. Well, I don't have that. I didn't get a degree in prognostication. I didn't, or meteorology or anything like that. And even when the meteorologists, they tell you what the weather's supposed to be, it doesn't always turn out that way anyway. So I've come to, I get in my car, I've gotten in my car and I'm like, oh wait, I made a wrong turn. And I say, oh, a new adventure. That's become my new one because it's now like, oh wait, nothing, a new adventure. Because if I wasn't supposed to make that turn, I wouldn't have made that turn. Everything is the way it is. It happens the way it's supposed to happen. And when it doesn't happen that way, and I start to think it shouldn't have. Oh no, now I'm shooting. Now I'm shooting on God. SHOULD. Let's be clear. I'm shooting on God. I'm wishing it was different. And the course tells us, it's a distortion of reality. I am distorting reality. I'm trying to make something be what it's not. So I accept. Say lo que sea, whatever it is, I accept it. Here it is. It is okay. I don't like it. I accept it. This is really getting on my nerves. I accept it because as soon as I start to try to fight it, it only gets worse. And that's what we were saying. We were just reading what you hold on to, what you resist, persist, what you hold on to, it keeps on, and it keeps on. So yeah, I've learned to let go. just learning to let go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Let it go. Accept what I can't change, and that's anything that is out there, because there is no out there. And change what I can, and that's just what I'm thinking. This is all I have control over. Remember, two kinds of business: my business and none of my business.
I love Sula's sayings. I'm literally writing them down.
Stop.
That's it.
That's the miracle, Soma. That's the miracle. That is the miracle right there.
Right.
Shifting away from a fearful state of mind by saying whatever it takes, do whatever it takes to get whatever it takes. And then after a while, I've noticed when you start to see the effects of miracles, first and how you feel, and then you see effects. Where like the one lesson, all things work together for good, which I didn't believe when I first, it was like, yeah, right. Come on, Jesus. But then you start to flow through these miracles and things unfolding in these miraculous ways. And you remind yourself, that's right. They're just playing their part. This is to help me see or whatever. You start to chuckle, you get a little smile that starts to crack on your face, like, oh, okay, now it's, and that's the flow. But it takes vigilance. I don't care how many years with the course. But I'm sorry, because this was spontaneous, I didn't charge my laptop overnight, so it's starting to die on me, and I'm really annoyed right now. And my husband's sleeping on the charger. So
no, you're fine.
I probably need to sign off.
Great meeting you.
Great
to
see
you again.
I hope to see you
Love
again.
you.
Yeah, next
Be
week.
back. Love you.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Have a great day.
Yes. Beautiful.
And Andrea, I sent you a private chat. I sent you a.
Okay. Ya lo mirar.
Right.
Sí.
Okay.
Oh, awesome. For sure.
Okay.
Yes. Got it.
Yeah.
Stefania, I know you'll see that, Stefania, but it's nothing that you can't see.
You remind me a little bit of God in a movie or something, Tulma. It's like with the green background and your hands and your attitude. That really made my day.
I just got my first crocheted hairstyle. It's crocheted. They braid my hair back, and then they literally crochet. It's like it has a loop, and they crochet this hair in. So it's a lot for me. I'm not used. You don't have it. It's I'll even
enjoy it. It's the new adventure.
Yeah.
New adventure.
Take it
Because
on.
this is it for a few weeks, so we won't have it. We'll see.
Love it.
Beautiful. What you were saying, Suma, just made me, and I think we can close off with this idea is that, What is suffering without resistance?
Mm.
Let's talk about that. What is suffering without resistance? Literally, our suffering to whatever's showing up, right? To an emotion showing up, to a person's reaction, to something not turning out the way we expected it. Suffering can only truly be the moment we are resisting what is happening, right? If we are not resisting, if this is happening, okay. If I took that wrong turn, okay, here I go, right? And it's just, again, if this didn't go, and it doesn't mean that when we do feel something, now we have to feel like bad, or now we're not spiritually advanced enough. No, no, no. We have a feeling about it. Whoa, okay, I'm feeling this. This is what I'm feeling. But then I can quickly change gears and remember who I am. And who I am is not meant to resist any of this. This is the ultimate forgiveness, right? Forgiveness is still, what is that part in the chorus? It says, forgiveness is still and does nothing. It remains. And that's literally the active, this is as active as forgiveness gets, which is non-resistance. Non-resistance to what is here, whether it's in my mind, in my situation, right? Non-resistance. Okay, it's here. I'm observing it. I see it. Okay. Oh, this is part of the theater show right now. Okay, this is I'm feeling this symptom in my body, right? Oh, I have these thoughts of self-hatred. Interesting. Look, let me see. Let me just observe. Let me be that interesting. This is what's coming up for me right now. All right. Boom.
Yeah. And even I think that because like this is happening in real time in my mind as we're speaking, I'm like, but I don't even know what I'm giving up. I don't even know what I'm resisting. I don't even understand what's going on with me. It's like, release that too. Release the not knowing, the not understanding. También. It doesn't, no importa. It doesn't matter. I don't have to know. I don't have to understand. Just trust. It's just trusting that God knows, and I don't.
And the funny thing about that, you let it go, and all of us, and not necessarily all of a sudden, but in an instant, you're like, oh, that's what it was. Like it's like I let go of trying to figure it out, and then the answer comes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, like the package. I don't remember what I ordered, like to Amazon. Oh, I ordered some stuff. I don't remember I don't keep going back to the Amazon app to see what I ordered. I just new adventure. I'm just waiting to see. Because the answer is going to come. And what Kwana was saying in the Bible is where it says all things work together for the good. Then the Course turns around and says all things are good. All things are good. And I don't like to do that whole good thing because when I think good, I think bad. I just think that all things simply are.
They just are
right
how they're supposed to be.
It simply is. Let all things, and Mike brought it up, let all things be exactly as they are. That's a great lesson, and it starts out, let me not be your critic, Lord. Let me not try to criticize what is, because what is, that's what it comes down to. Because what is, and me thinking it should be different, and that's in the Course too. That whole "I want it thus" thing. If me thinking it should be a different way, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Me not accepting what is the problem. That's the problem. And if I remind myself, espérate, wait, so it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. And then I learned that really in a really hard one. My mother went to the hospital. She walked out the house, got into the car, and next thing I know, they were wheeling her around, talking about heart attack and going to another hospital, and the days were, and things that kept telling me different things, and I wanted it to be different. I did. And the doctor would say something to me, and I would say to him, it is what it is. And they would repeat it because they thought I wasn't hearing, that I wasn't getting what they were saying.
Yeah. They're like, no, this is no big deal.
Because they were ready to go, no, it can't be this way. No. I kept saying there, it is what it is. And trust me, I had the blue book under my arm. I had the blue book under my arm. I was reading the blue book to my mother. I had bought one in Spanish because mommy and I had gotten to the point where we started studying the course together. But I was let all things be exactly as that is one. It is what it is. And when I try to tell myself it's something different, when I try to make it something different, that's when my suffering comes in. That's when the suffering comes.
Yes.
But I mean, for me.
100%. 100%, Sulma. Yes.
Yes. And I think that this is everything we're saying is so beautiful because it's literally what the rules for decision is leading us to. Realizing what we're resisting and choosing again. We are choosing again. I need not resist this, right? And I am not going to be making decisions on my own. And that means I judge not. Literally, I make no decisions on my own equals I judge not. Because the moment I judge, I have made a choice, an opinion, a statement about what is and should be and shouldn't be. And therefore we judge not. Right? Doing both, they were equal in and of themselves. So resisting judgment, judging and resisting, same.
Right.
Judging and resisting. Saying, that's why this I don't know mind, right? This clueless, like, okay, all right. Or the even better, the adventure mind. Okay, that's where I'm going today. This is what's happening. And it is what it is. So bringing it down into this decision making again and again.
And that's what the course tells us. It says, be still. It says, basically, let it all go. It says, hold on to nothing. Hold on to nothing. It says, hold on to nothing. And in the Bible, it's like, come as a child. And it says, come with completely empty hands unto your God. Just hold on to nothing. Let it all go. Let the world go. Let the course go. Let it all go. Let your beliefs about everything you from the past, let it all go and just come with completely empty hands. Holy W. The course is holy. Come with completely empty hands. Just empty. I don't know, and I'm willing to. And I listen for you to tell. I listen for the guidance. I just be still, listen, and not that chatter because it's gonna be. Oh, you have to. No. Stop.
Stop.
And just listen and breathe. Breathe.
Yeah.
Doctor told me that. Breathe. Doctor told me that. Breathe. That's a story too. My skin tends to elevate. I have a keloid. My skin is thick, so it keloids. And then when I had my gallbladder removed, almost a year later, anything my shirt to the touch, anything would touch me, it hurt. So I had to go see a doctor about it, and he put he did a whole cortisone thing in there. Now it already hurt, and he was sticking cortisone in it, and I inhaled. And I wasn't exhaling. And he had to tell me to breathe. Breathe. And I'm telling you, with the breath, the pain began to because what happened with the inhale, I grabbed and held on to the pain.
And held on to it.
And that's what we do. And he told me breathe. That was, and also
let it go. Let it go.
I had a hold of him too, but breathe. And so that's really it. It makes such a difference to just take that moment, because this present moment is this breath. That's the one thing. That's why meditation is such a good practice. If you can, I have to do it with my eyes open because I fall asleep. But that's why meditation is such a good practice because every time you breathe, you're right. It reminds you that you're here now. I can't breathe for later. I can't breathe for yesterday. I can just right now. Aki, right here, right now, right. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet now. I know it's time to go.
No, gracias. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Beautiful. Just taking a moment to receive, to let what we've joined here for land, right? To let this message really simmer into our hearts that we always have the choice to choose again. That judgment and resistance are one and the same, right? And that we are here not to take the place of anyone, but to find our own rightful place, which is with our Creator, with the Spirit. And it's beautiful what Suma's saying about breathing, because literally breathing is inspirar, and it means with Spirit. So if we could, like, because in inspire, expire, it's with the breath. And when it's, having the breath is literally a consistent reminder of how we depend on the breath. Interesting, right? We depend on the breath for the body to move. But similarly, metaphorically speaking, we depend on the Spirit to truly live, to truly have peace and have a sense of what reality, the reality that we are in God, right? To live that. So yeah, bringing it back to the breath and the silence of the breath so that we remember and we step into that place. Thank you, everyone, for your presence, for your gifts, for your sharing, for
Thank
being
you.
here. We walk
Thank you.
together, go off,
Yoo-hoo!
be you. Yes, be you. Dance it out if that's what feels good. Or, sleep it out if that feels good too.
Go
And
with
we'll
the
see each
adventure.
other. Exactly. We'll see each other next week. Love you
All
all.
See you
right.
next week.
Bye,
Go off and
guys.
shine
Bye.
your light.
All
Ciao,
right.
ciao.
You too. Thank
Great
you.
class, everyone. Have a blessed one.
You
Love
Bye,
everybody.
too.
Ciao,
Bye,
ciao.
guys.
bye.